Alright guys, so in this video we're going to start to think about the single listings page. Okay, so when we go to our listings and we click on more info, the route is all set, the template is displaying, but we want this to display the correct markup as well as we want to reach into the database and display the correct listing data. Okay, so let's jump into VS Code, and basically two files we're going to need to work on. One is listings views.py, okay, because now we're dealing with this method. This is the single listing, and we also want to open up the template in templates, listings, and then listing.html. So these two files. So first thing I'm going to do is get the markup. Now remember, I have in Sublime Text, I have our Bootstrap theme, just all the static data. Not data, but static markup, HTML. And we're going to open up listing.html. We don't want to take everything because remember, all the the head tag, all that stuff, that's in the base layout. We don't need that. We don't need the top bar or the nav bar. All we need is from here, so this section right here, and we want to go all the way down to right above the footer, I believe is what we want. Yeah, so right above the footer. Okay, so we're going to grab that. And we're gonna, first of all, before I paste that in, I'm gonna extend the base layout. So I'm gonna just do extends base.html. Okay, we wanna make sure we do that. And then remember, everything that we want in this template has to be wrapped in a block. So let's put right here, we wanna do block content. And we want to end that block. Okay, another thing I'm going to do is load humanize because we're going to want to use that as well. So we might as well throw that in now while we're here. All right, and then in between the block content, I'm going to paste everything I just copied. So if I save this and we go back and reload, there we go. Okay, now it's just static markup right now. The form will open if we click the make inquiry because we do have the HTML for the modal. But let's start to make this dynamic. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to need to reach into the model and grab this particular listing's data. So to do that, we need to go to views.py, and down in the listing method, okay, we want to use the listing model, which we already brought in. You can see we already brought that into this file. Now I'm going to set a variable called listing, singular, and instead of just doing listing.objects, I actually want to do something called get underscore object underscore or underscore 404. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make it so that if I go to, like, let's say listing/10, okay, if I go to that right now, nothing happens, but I want that to show a 404 page. So that's what this is going to do. It's going to check to see if it exists. So we need to pass in two things. One is going to be the model, and second is going to be the primary key. We want to set pk equals and then listing underscore ID. Now this comes in right here, and this listing ID is passed in through the URL right here. Okay, and if we look at the browser, it's this here. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and create our context variable. Context, not const. So context, and we're going to set listing, and let's set that to listing, and then we'll pass in the context. Like that. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. Now this get object of 404, you actually have to bring that in. It's from Django shortcuts, so along with the render, we'll go ahead and bring that in. So we'll say get underscore object or underscore 404. Like that. We'll save, and now that red line should go away and it should work. So let's go back. And if I go to listing/10, which doesn't exist, we get page not found. All right, if we go to 6/6, that does exist, so that's going to work. Okay, so anything, if I go to 5, that should work. We have 6 total, so we should have ID 1 through 6. All right, so now that we've done that, we should be able to access the listing data within the template because we passed it in here with the context. So let's go to listing HTML. Let's go up to the very top, and I want the title displayed right here. So we should be able to just simply say listing.title. Okay, let's see if that works. So we'll go back and reload. There it is, 12 United Road. If we go back to the listings page and click on, let's say, Gifford, that works as well. So let's head back to listing.html and let's finish this up. So I'm going to copy what we just did here with the listing title, and we're going to do the same for the city, the state, and the zip code. So this will be city, state, and zip code. All right. Now down here in the breadcrumb, we want to fix these links here. So to go to the home, we want to do our tags, and we want to say URL, and we want it to go to index, and then this should go to the listings page. So this will be URL listings. Okay, now this here is the title again because this is in the breadcrumbs. So I'm also going to put listing.title here. So whatever the title is will actually be in the breadcrumb. And then for the listing itself, this back, this should be the same as this this right here, URL listings. Okay, we never want to do an HTML page. That's just what we did for the theme. So let's do URL listings, and then down here we want the main image. So I'm going to paste this in, and it's called photo_main is the name of the field, and we want the URL. So let's just see if that works. We'll go back and reload, and there we go. And you can see the title is now in the breadcrumb. We have our links to go back in the breadcrumb. We have the main image. Now we want to do all of the smaller images underneath. Right now they're not showing because this doesn't exist, this location. So what we need to do is just put in dynamic values, just like we did for the photo above. Oops. So we want to do photo_1.url. And we want to do the same thing for the image tag. So this should be for the link and the image tag. That's how the light box chooses the images. Okay, so we want to just paste that in. And let's do that for all of these. So I'm going to just grab that and the next one. Okay, paste that in, except this will be photo 2. And let's do the same thing here. So highlight this, do a Control D to get the next one, paste it in, change this to 3. We'll do it here as well. Change this to Control D, paste, say 4, 4. All right, and I'm going to we have to do another step after this because we might not have these photos, so we do have to do an if statement around them, or we'll get an error. So let's go ahead and put these in here. This is for photo 5. Okay, and then this last one here is going to be photo 6. All right, so let's take a look at that. Let's save this. Let's go back and let's reload. Now this particular listing happens to have 6 images, so there's no issues. And you'll see if we open it up, and we can pretty much just navigate through all the images, which is part of the requirements for the project. But let's go back to a listing that doesn't have all of the images. And notice we get an error. It's saying photo 4 attribute has no file associated with it. So what's going on is it's trying to load photo 4 when there isn't a file for it because we didn't add photo 4 for this listing. So the solution for this is just to wrap these in if statements, checking to see if the photo is actually there, because remember, they're optional. So where we want to put this is right above the call MD2. Okay, so we're going to put an if statement in here, and we're going to do if listing dot photo underscore 1. Okay, that's it, and we're going to end it after the div. So we're going to do an end if like that, and right under it we're going to do another if for photo 2. Okay, so we'll say photo 2, and what I'm going to do is copy the end if and the beginning if here, go under this div, paste that in, then we're going to check for photo 3. Okay, we'll go to the next one, we're going to check for photo 4, next one, check for photo 5, next one, photo 6, and that's the last one. So then we just need an end if. We don't need this here, so we'll get rid of that. Now if I save and we go back to that page, it just gave us an error, and reload, it works, and it just gives us the images that it has, which is only 3 images, and we can still go ahead and navigate through them. Alright, so that's perfect. So now we want to move on to these fields, because right now it's just static HTML. So let's go down a little further. Let's go to our price here. Okay, we're going to leave the $, and we're going to say listing dot price. And remember, we brought in humanize, so that means we can use the pipe character, and we can say int comma, so we can add the commas. Let's go right here to bedrooms, and this is going to be listing dot bedrooms, and I'm actually going to just copy this, and we'll do bathrooms. Okay, garage, and let's see what else we got. Square feet, SQR, what was it, SQFT. Let's see, so we got square feet, we got lot size. So right here, let's pass in listing dot lot underscore size. And then for the listing date, I actually do want the listing date. I'm not going to do like the 5 days ago or whatever. That's on the that's on the listings page. On this, I actually want to put the listing date. So we'll say listing dot list underscore date. Okay, and then we want our realtor. Since we have that relationship between the models, we can just simply say realtor, and it'll give us his name or her name. And then the description, okay, we want to replace this right here with the listing dot description. All right, let's see. Then we have the seller. This alt says seller of the month. That shouldn't be there. I'm just going to get rid of that because this isn't the seller of the month. This is just the whoever the realtor of the property is. And to get his name, so right here we can just do just like we did above, realtor. All right, now let's see. I think right here, I think we're good. Yeah, we should be good for now. We're not going to handle the inquiry yet. I just want to get the actual data displayed. So, oh, his photo, for the photo. What's cool about the way that we created the relationship between the listings and the realtors is we can get any realtor field. So we can just simply say listing.realtor.photo.url. Okay, so let's save that. Let's go back. Let's reload. And there we go. So this stuff is all coming from the database. If we go to a different listing, let's see, by Mark Hudson, we should see his image over here. One thing I'm seeing though is this H6 tag, so something is off. So let's go to the bottom here and just check that out. Where is it? That's the modal. Yeah, we just need to add that. Okay, cool. All right, so I think the next thing that I want to work on is the search. Okay, so we have the listing on the home page, latest listings. We have these listings. We can go to a single one, and we can go to them from the home page as well, obviously. So I want to work on the home search right here. And once we submit this, it'll go to a search. It'll show a search template which will look like the listings page like this, except it'll have another search form up here if you want to make another search. Okay, so we're going to get into that in the next section.